Okay, so we have downloaded the latest update of Almiron's army. I made a great error, and obviously I did sort of say it in the last episode. I was thinking this might be a mistake, but you can see the potentials there. I mean, he got 46 in like 30 minutes, so we do want to maximize obviously the potential of return in the series. Got the most incredible craft for this series. So what's going on, boys? Welcome back to another episode of Almiron's Army. We're on episode 5, so we are cooking on now. We're getting into the series a little bit more, and we have a couple of bits to look at today, including an update to the spreadsheet, which is probably, much needed. We'll obviously be reviewing how the boys got on over the weekend, and of course we'll be sort of preparing and looking into the next game week. Let's go. Okay, so we have downloaded the latest update of Almiron's Army, and you can see the spreadsheet is all now nice and lovely. I spent loads more time on it. I did say in episode 1 or maybe even episode 2 that I was going to spend, it's inevitable. I love a spreadsheet, so it's definitely going to, have loads of improvements as the season goes on. And you can see that Almiron did score 47 points in game week 3, and to be honest, that's actually quite impressive because he was how do I describe it? He was in very good opportunities a lot of the game, but the ball just never seemed to go his way, and that happens sometimes. It is football. You can't always expect them to score unreal scores. Obviously, I mean, if he keeps up with this pace, I'll be more than happy for the season. But yeah, just a lot of maybe teammates not passing to him when he should have, type of vibe. And yeah, so pretty much nothing else has changed other than the fact that I have added in his score. If we go to the bottom here, you can see I have added a roster section, and everything that I have added, I will say, got a massive inspiration from Top Gun Tommy, which is also another series that runs alongside Almiron's Army, who is being run by Schmitter, and obviously we'll show you guys obviously how they're getting on in this episode today. So yeah, I have added this sort of like roster section, which Top Gun Tommy also has, and you can see my goalkeepers, all my defenders, midfielders and forwards, and it's just a nicer look, to be fair. And we can actually see what sort of like what we have more positions in, and look at our strengths and weaknesses. So quickly looking at it, goalkeepers obviously pretty strong. Defenders, I guess obviously Vito Costa, we'll get onto him in a little bit, but yeah, defenders are pretty good. Midfielders obviously really just Almiron and Berhalter, and then forwards, yeah, we'll get onto as the episode digresses. So how did we get on in the game week then? That's what we are all here for. So game week 1 obviously we see here, game week 2, game week 3, here we are. So how did the boys get on? You can see, if I zoom in a little bit better, I will bring this up on Sorare as well, but just I like it to be in my spreadsheet, you know what I mean? So you can see that Daniel scored 57. Obviously they conceded quite late, not quite late, but they conceded, sorry, should I say, so he didn't keep his clean sheet. Bruno Wilson played unbelievable, even though he didn't get his clean sheet. I think he got like 20, 30 odd AA, something crazy. Almiron obviously wrong captain this game week, but we're always going to captain him, so it is what it is. Berhalter done the job, and Anthony. So we actually got through a game week with no one DMPing, which is nice, and we scored 322 points, which is okay, but for this series, literally didn't earn us anything. We didn't get any rewards, or didn't get any things for the rules. However, the boy, Roman Berkey, did get his clean sheet, so we did get a decisive. So yeah, I guess we earned £1 from this game week, which is not insane, but we take it nonetheless. So we'll come over to here and we'll add an extra £1 to the I guess from the rules. And now a big comment that was on the last episode is about Shappy, and I'll be honest, boys. I made a great error, and obviously I did sort of say it in the last episode. I was thinking this might be a mistake, but you boys did let me know in the comment section down below that buying a Sporting Kansas City player is always a mistake, apparently. So with that being said, if you come over to my gallery, Almiron's Army, I have listed Shappy. Now this is a bit of an optimistic list at £4. I did want to know what your guys' thoughts and opinions are on this, because I'm not too sure, like, if selling him is the right option. but I am at least going to list him and see if he sells. Obviously, if we sold him for this, then we wouldn't have lost any money. I think we paid about about £3 ish for him. Obviously we traded off Dorsey, which is fine. And yeah, in terms of that, the rest of the gallery, as we can see on screen, Bruno Wilson obviously had a fantastic game week, and speaking of that, the last section of the spreadsheet is the star of the week, and you can see, of course, Berkey got this star of the week because he got his clean sheet, 96 points. Daniel got game week 1, and Arango got game week 2. But yeah, just thought I'd add this fun little section. Again, shout out to Top Gun Tommy, who inspired this idea, and we will show you his stuff as we get on to the episode. So yeah, Bruno Wilson had a fantastic game, as we said, 37 AA or so fantastic for him. Escobar, kind of annoying. So he started, got 11 AA, and then got subbed off in like the 30th minute or something. I think he was injured again, but I don't think he's going to be out for too long. But you can see the potentials there. I mean, he got 46 in like 30 minutes. So yeah, potential's there for Escobar. I'm confident to keep hold of him, and I know he'll come good. Berhalter just done what Berhalter does, really. It'd be great if he had added some of these decisives to his game, because he's getting the AAA. He's getting the AAA. He just needs to add the decisives. Berkey obviously speaks for himself. He's been great. Three clean sheets. That's all you can ask for the start of the season. Vitor Costa's the weird one. Obviously, is second in favour now, which is a little bit unfortunate, and we will get onto that a little bit into the episode today. But yeah, quickly running over the rest. Tolo obviously is Tolo. Anthony, he's just quietly doing his thing for us as well in the forward position. Obviously he's a budget forward, so we can't expect him to cook every week. And then the rest of the classic pieces, I know Arango was sort of up in the air whether he was going to play. He did play in the end, but we didn't miss out on much, as he only scored 45. And yeah, I guess generally speaking, Eric is still out injured. I think he's going to be out for the rest of this month, or at least I'm not going to risk him in this game week coming up, maybe the next one. We will obviously talk about lineup building and stuff as we get more into the episode today. But Vitor Costa is the only... This is sort of the talking point, I guess, for this episode, is where do we go? Because where do we go with Vitor Costa? Because obviously he's not playing. And obviously in an ideal world we would have had Rodriguez, but we definitely can't afford him. But yeah, it looks like Ricketts is going to be the man, potentially, who's going to rotate with him at least, or has been taking his spot recently. So if we could somehow get a Ricketts in the gallery, it would cover off like both players, if that makes sense. So I was thinking about potentially getting him, but then again, if we come to our roster, we do have a lot of defenders already, and if we got another San Jose defender, then we would have 3, and one of them is pretty much guaranteed not to start. So I'm not too sure how I feel about that, to be honest. But generally speaking, I think Shappy is at least obviously going to be listed. We'll look to sell him, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a little bit of scouting now, and sort of throw some names out there, and just get your feedback. Sort of feedback from the community as a stream and stuff. I'll throw the names out there and see what people think. But yeah, I'm gonna sort of have a little scouting session now, and I'll come back to you boys with an update. Our channel has finally become a partner with YouTube, and that means that you boys can become a member on the channel. How you would do that is by clicking the join button down below, and you can see all the exclusive perks to becoming a member on this channel. Not only that, but you would be massively helping and supporting a small creator in myself, making more videos like this one for you guys to enjoy. So I would really appreciate if you did join our membership down below. Thank you. Let's get on with the video. Okay, so I have had a little bit of a scout around to find, I guess, forwards that are similar price to Shappy. I don't think I'm actually going to purchase any of these, because I think I'm going to listen to the comment section, or at least get a second opinion on some of these players, and not make the same mistake that we did with Shappy. But Felipe Mora looks like, similarly priced to Shappy, and obviously plays for the Portland Timbers, so we could double up him with Anthony. But the only problem with him is he needs a decisive to score well, and obviously he has not been doing that recently. But he has come off the bench for Chile, so it makes me think he can't be too bad of a player. But yeah, obviously his budget, and potentially someone that could come down in price if he keeps performing the way he is. So we might look at someone like Felipe Mora potentially. And the other one we did have a little look at was Theo, or Teo, however you say his name. I don't know, Theo. But yeah, very very cheap. And yeah, a bit of a youngster for Toronto. Obviously, Toronto not the best team, but looks like he's just moved to the MLS. I believe from the Spanish league. Yeah, from the Spanish league. And yeah, I guess he didn't do too bad in his first couple of games, and obviously come off the bench against Cincinnati. But again, just mega cheap, so similar to Shappy prices. I think what we will probably do is list Shappy if he sells, and we do need a forward. I don't think we are going to buy anyone because I think Arango and Anthony will be fine this weekend. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to list Shappy. Hopefully he sells, and then yeah, we're gonna sort of have a look at the lineups and build them. And if we do need another player, potentially we'll pick up a forward, maybe Theo because he's cheap. But yeah, we're gonna sort of dissect the teams now and sort of do the lineups with you boys, and hopefully we can sort of build the lineups without Shappy so we can try and sell him. Okay, lineup building time. Let's go. So this is ahead of obviously the next game week. You boys know at the moment the way that the sort of, I guess, the series is panning out is that we have one in-season side which we're going to put everything in towards, and then classic throwaway team. Pretty much that's sort of the strategy that we're rocking with at the minute. Ignore the fact I have two Daniels. I just have two in the gallery right now. But yeah, so definitely probably go with. Oh, actually, to be fair, oh yeah, Seattle, Colorado. Yeah, probably still going to go Daniel here. Just because I think Seattle potentially could be. I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Obviously Berkey's been fantastic, but I'm just liking Daniel more in this fixture. And then Bruno Wilson, very hard to not pick. Then we've got, of course, Almiron. That goes without saying. And then we've got the choice between. Well, I know. I guess we have to go with Anthony, of course, because he's our only in season. So our choice really is between. Where are we? It is Vitor Costa, who again is not on to play. As we've checked on Predictify. So it is going to be Berhalter yet again. So we're going to go with the same lineup. And obviously captain our boy Almiron. But yeah, he's playing into Miami, so not the best fixture. But I mean, they are at home. We've got a lot of home fixtures this week, so hopefully the boys can do well. And then for the classic team, I believe it's going to be very similar to last week, to be honest. But yeah, we'll put Roman Burke in. We do actually. Do you know what? Thinking about that, we did have a little look last week at getting Kessler, and he might actually be someone that we bring in here for the classic team. Now we did earn £1. Oh my goodness me, he was 33p when we looked at him on video last week. We are absolutely not paying £1.50 for him, but we can have a little look at the rest of the St. Louis City defenders and have a look to see just how much they might be. 39p, so we could potentially pick up Kyle, who is essentially the same as Kessler, really, in terms of like what he would do for our gallery and our strategy. So we might pick up Kyle. Let me just double check he has played every game. Yeah, he has. That's good. So we might do that for this classic. We're just gonna have a little look to see, and I guess that's sort of a reward for Berkey playing so well. Berkey's already earned like £3 for the series, so yeah. So we do have Arango, of course. So then this is where it gets interesting because Escobar, I'm pretty sure he's out. Tolo, we could potentially put Tolo in there. To be fair, Eric Sivachenko, maybe a little bit risky. So yeah, I'm thinking that we're going to go ahead and put Tolo in, and we're going to go ahead and pick up a Kyle Hibbert for the series. We're just going to go 35p for him. Nice and cheap. I don't think we can really make too much of a mistake here, considering just how cheap he is. So let's add Kyle to our roster then. Another classic piece. I guess this is sort of a reward to Roman Berkey for getting so many of the decisive recently. Obviously, Berkey has literally earned £3 in our series alone. So yeah, we will take off 35p from our thing. As you just saw, we did just purchase him for that. So 0.35, there we go. So we have 72p in the balance, so obviously not a lot to work with. We're hoping that going into the game week, we can obviously cook with the lineups that we have. And yeah, we did just show you guys the lineup, so I don't think anything should change. We'll probably go with that, but I will be back on Friday to sort of solidify the team and make sure everyone's starting. But hopefully we stick with them lineups, and hopefully no one gets injured between now and then. If you're watching this video now and you're thinking about signing up so rare, do not forget to use my link in the description down below. It does really help out a small creator like myself, and if you do use that link, you will even win yourself a free limited card. So you boys did just see in the last clip, obviously these are the two lineups that we have sort of plugged in as of so far. However, I will say I have just had a quick look at the lineups, and, or should I say the fixtures, and Houston do have a fantastic fixture. I did want to build a lineup with you guys, I guess the warm-up with you guys as well, because obviously we do have Sivchenko and Escobar that we aren't using, because I'm going to wait, and obviously Vitor Costa in this series. So these are the three that we have in the series that we aren't using. We're going to use all of them in warm-ups, because obviously we do want to maximise obviously the potential of return in the series. But I will say I'm going to wait for the predicted lineups for Houston, because if Eric Sivchenko is on start, or Escobar, although they're two bit of injury problems, we might risk them in the classic team. But as things stand, we're going to keep it how it is, and obviously we will update you after, well, sort of deadline day, I guess. But yeah, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw Vitor Costa in this warm-up and leave the two Houston boys there ready to sort of go into the classic team as and when we do need them. With that being said, I am going to go with a Houston defense for this, I guess, for this warm-up, and I am going to put in... I don't know, it kind of makes me want to put... Do you know what? We're going to put Sivchenko in for now. We're going to put it like that. And we'll wait to see if we do actually... Because obviously if Sivchenko and Escobar play, that's going to be perfect for our classic gallery. I do believe... so obviously McGlynn is a great one to pick here. I do believe the... LA Galaxy have a pretty good team. Well, obviously they started the season off poorly, but I believe LA Galaxy do have quite a good fixture. I do need to have a quick look to see. Yeah, so I do want. So I'm thinking Messi hasn't played in a while, right? So I think he's missed the last two games, so surely he plays this one. I guess he sort of goes in. And then I'm thinking maybe Gabriel Peck, because of course, yeah, they're playing Portland Timbers, which should be a quite good fixture for them. And then I'm thinking either we go with an LA Galaxy midfielder here, maybe Royce, or we go with maybe someone like Busquets. But I'm thinking maybe it's too, like, what's the right word? Maybe it's too generic, perhaps. McGlynn maybe a little less picked. Paslak obviously quite a good start to the season for him. Caden Clark's a good one. Obviously the fixture is not ideal though. They keep playing away from home, Montreal. Montreal have had like 7 games away. They start the season off with like 7 away games in a row. David Ayala's very good, but again, fixture is not the best. So, maybe we put in Amin Bassi. Yeah, you know what? We'll throw in Bassi. Why not? Shout out Bassi, boys. Which actually leads me on nicely to the next point in the video then. So you've seen the sort of lineups that we have sort of set here. Obviously subject to change. We might do another couple of warm-ups here or there. But we're actually going to go ahead and show you guys sort of the other communities and the other series that are running alongside this one in the next clip. Okay, so here are some of the series that are also running alongside Almiron's armies. And obviously, like I said in the start of the video, this is Top Gun Tommy that obviously is heavily inspired the spreadsheet change to Almiron's army. And you can see he has a cheeky £2 in the sort of in the bank at the moment, and he has this as his roster. So quite heavily in the classic game, as you can see, and his player is Eric Tommy, which is always a nice little German, because obviously Schmitter is German himself. And yeah, his game weeks have looked like this, and let's have a little look. So you have Roman Berkey as well. So obviously he's been playing good. Same keepers as this series, really. Unfortunately with the DMP in the first game week, and DMP from Dario, who of course has been injured. Um, Horn's done well, I guess. Berkey got him some extra money in the bank. Then the other team not doing too well. And then I guess most recently, obviously he had that Berkey clean sheet similar to me. Tommy did actually score as well. So, but apart from them, not much else to write home about. And then yeah, so I guess Tommy really performing well in the most recent game week, as we can see with his 107. I guess that's with captain. But yeah, so not too bad. And then he's also got obviously his player of the day, which is inspired my stars of the week, and his is Roman Berkey as well, similar to mine. And then yeah, we've got Lucho Libre, which is Mihai, who runs this one, and it looks like Acosta has not done too great in the first 3 game weeks. I guess the second game week was decent, but yeah, guess not the best start of the season for him. And then looking at in terms of his results, I think we looked at game week 1 already for him. Obviously had the Rodriguez and Daniel duo, which was deadly. And then in the second game week, pretty good as well. Acosta obviously getting his goal, but yeah, just I guess in the well, didn't I don't think he got any returns for this, even though he did score 347. And then in the most recent one, we can see that again, some couple of DAs in there, so that's obviously quite good. Helps towards his series budget. But I do believe he's actually got quite a decent, yeah, he's got quite a decent budget, so £12. And then we have Gould Schooners from Cal, and obviously, if you boys watch the under 23s Road to Glory, you know that this man got the most incredible craft for this series. So although Gold has not been playing too well, other than the first game week, he has got loads of money because he did win as a reward. The goalkeeper, I forgot his name now, but the Brazilian goalkeeper. So yeah, managed to sell him for a good profit. So this series, I guess this is how he's currently lining up. With Suarez, Rusanak, Kessler, and Berkey, and then Ryan Gold captain. So very strong team, and you can see it's nice and clean and lovely from the spreadsheet here of Gold Gooners. And then we have Espinosa's Expedition run by MDK himself, obviously the MLS wizard, and I think he's only updated the two game weeks so far. But yeah, so Espinosa obviously done really well in the first game week, got him a couple of decisives and stuff, and so did Daniel. Second game week, not so much. Hernan Lopez obviously getting a red card is not what you want, but Arango did score. So yeah, he's sort of stacking the San Jose boys, as we can tell here. Yeah, just heavily going for San Jose, and I guess expecting a good performance from them, and also has quite a lot of budget. So yeah, shout out to you boys, obviously getting involved. This is a community series. There is a couple of more series that are running alongside, but I believe these are sort of the ones that have been updated as of far. If you boys are following along and you do have a spreadsheet or whatever, feel free to link me. I am always interested in following along with your boys' journey. Let's get to that deadline day and see if we make any changes to our team. It is Friday morning and not much business has been made on Almiron's army, so we are just checking the Houston Dynamo setup, and as expected, Sivichenko will miss this game and probably be back for the next one, is going to be my guess. And then Escobar is a bit of a flip of a coin. So with that being said, obviously we did see me put Sivichenko in the warm-up, but I've actually decided to swap him out for Escobar just because he's more likely to play. I have also changed the lineup that we did build because yeah, it just took a bit more time to do it really, I guess. I know it's just a warm-up, but yeah, we'll go for something like this and hope that it does well. And then in terms of Almiron's army and how we line up then, the starting percentages are 90% for Daniel, 90% for Wilson, 90% for Almiron, 90% for Anthony, and I think 70 or 75 for Berhalter. So Berhalter's the only question mark in this team. And obviously we're praying for a San Jose clean sheet and Almiron to do well. The rest, yeah, will just put us as and where, I guess, in the leaderboards. But hopefully it does well. As you can see, we've got quite decent matchups, I guess, with like being at home obviously in the MLS quite important, and with 4 out of the 5 being at home. So I guess we live and die by the Sebastian Berhalter, who has played a lot of football recently. So there is a chance he does get rotated, but hopefully he provides the good stuff for the RTG. And yeah, the classic. Obviously, we don't expect too much in Classic, but we've got Berkey and Kyle, who obviously have been fantastic as of late. I think Kyle was only 70% on to play, which is a little bit annoying considering we just picked him up in this episode, but hopefully he does play. Almiron speaks for himself. Arango with a fantastic fixture. I would love to have his in-season piece for the main team, but obviously we can't. And then Tolo, who kind of has to go in there because obviously Escobar and Sivichenko are not going to fit the bill for us this week. So yeah, with that being said, that is how we're going to line up for Almiron's army this weekend. Hopefully we do well and bring home some sort of return, because obviously in this episode we didn't really return too much. I think only a pound or so. So yeah, not the best. Hopefully we have a better weekend this time out. So that is all we have time for in Almiron's army this week. Now, next week is international break, so we might have to mix things up. Maybe just treat it as almost like a bit of a fun episode. Might throw a bit of maybe some challenges or something in there, just to sort of mix it up. And obviously, Almiron does play for his country, so maybe you boys can let me know in the comment section any suggestions with it. Maybe we could just allow ourselves to still use Almiron with maybe like a no budget team or something, and have some rules there or something like that. Have a little bit more fun with it. Obviously this series is sort of created just to have a little bit of fun in the MLS and things like that. So if you boys have any suggestions and things you would like to see, do let me know in the comments down below. With that being said, if you did enjoy this episode, please do leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and we'll catch you guys in a future episode. Peace.